What is up, watch friends? Welcome to another episode of Talking Timepieces with Tony. Today I am wearing my OP41. Love this watch. I didn't wear it last night at the event. I wore my Submariner at the event, but it was a great night last night. And I just want to thank everyone who came down. It was so freaking awesome. There were so many beautiful watches. And so anyway, first and foremost, in this episode, it's going to be a little bit different because I really only got like two questions for the Magic Watch Ball. I will also be giving away the Tissot PRX in this episode. I gave it away last night, but things kind of changed. So let's roll the intro and we'll talk about it. All right. First and foremost, just want to thank everyone again who came down last night. It was it was my first ever live stream for one. I'm not real good at it, so please forgive me. But it was fun, and it was really my first time being sort of a special guest, and co-host of this event. Um, I again appreciate everyone who came down. Actually, four of my viewers came down, which was great. I have to thank Scott, um, David. David was wearing a Rolex 36 with the green sort of palm tree dial. It's a beautiful watch, man. It's just awesome, dude. That's a great watch. Steel Steez, awesome, man. You were wearing your Tudor Panda. Nice watch. Really nice watch, man. I really like that watch. And congrats on hooking up with my AD to get your future Rolex. And then Alex drove all the way from Long Beach. For those of you who aren't in Los Angeles, know the distance from Long Beach to Toluca Lake. I mean, hands down, that was pretty. I was pretty impressed that you came down. I believe you were wearing the Air King. So thank you. It was a lot of fun. There was a lot of beautiful watches. I mean, there were so many Rolex, and there was 3-day dates, GMT, Yacht Masters, Patek Philippe, Omegas, again Tudor, just everything, and everyone who made their purchases, and enjoy them. And again, thank you. It was a blast. I don't know what to say. It took a lot out of me. It was exhausting. By the time I got home, I mean, it was only a few hours, but by the time I got home, it was just like, days, man, I'm wiped out. But it was great talking with you. It was great meeting everyone who came down. So thank you. Um, Also, just a quick note. Again, I don't make money at any of this stuff. I don't do it for the money. However, if I'm going to make money, yes, my channel's monetized now, and if I'm going to make money, why not? You know what I mean? I'm not rich, and anything helps. But I do have some merch. I got these cool pins, and stickers are coming as well. So the stickers are bigger. I will put up the actual artwork of what that is. There's only a few of these. There's only about 20 of these. I gave a few of them away last night. And for the sticker and the pin, it's gonna be like $10, nothing. So, but it's kind of funny. It's humorous. You got the crystal ball with the hands, Rolex troll. Everyone's got that crystal ball and thinks they know what's going to happen with Rolex and what's going on. The whole thing. So there's some humor into that. The pins didn't turn out exactly as I'd hoped. In fact, there's a plastic film that's very difficult to get off, and I just thought they were all scratched, and I thought this is garbage, but not bad. I mean, they're cool. They're just fun anyway. So that's that. And then on top of that, let's get into a couple of questions I have here. I literally only have one for the watch ball. One of the other ones for the watch ball is more of a different type of a question. So let's do the first one, which is from Max Al. Do you think there'll ever be a white dial Submariner or demand for it? And the watch ball says they already have a white dial sub. It's called the Yacht Master. Or we can go one further. the Rolex Explorer 2. There you have it. Although that's not a yacht, not a Submariner, is it? The sub in a white dial would be kind of interesting, wouldn't it? Oh, do you see them coming out with one? Really? Not in the foreseeable future. I guess it would be kind of interesting. I mean, I don't see any reason if they did come out with one, yeah, it would be real popular. It'd be a wait list. It'd be mostly what would happen is that everyone would be hating on it, and they say, why would they do that when you can get this or you can get that or whatever? It would be a hate fest, and then eventually it turns around, and then everybody wants it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I feel about that. So thank you for your question. The next question is from WN Below Me. And he's asking me, who are my top favorite guitarists? And did the music industry have any influence on my love for watches? That's just a direct question, not the watch ball question. As far as did the music industry have any influence on me with watches, I almost want to say no, but at the same time, I kind of want to say yes. I think in a sense, back in the day when it was cool to be like a rock star or whatever you're doing, everyone wanted a cool watch, whether it be a Rolex or at those times also it was like a Tag Heuer Link. And I think there was an artist that I used to really like, or I say really like, I mean, Yngwie Malmsteen, a guitar player that had Rolex, you know what I mean? And it would be like, he's got Rolex, and so, it could have sort of subliminally had an impact on my watches, but I don't know. I'm not sure. As far as my top 5 guitar players, that's really difficult because I play so many different styles of music. But essentially, I come from a rock, rock and roll was my thing, So I'll put up a demo of something I did about 10 years ago that I, for you guitar players that, if you're a guitar geek, that I played just with a Strat, a Tube Screamer, and a 30-watt Vox amp. And I was essentially just working out some new software on the computer, and I did this sort of neoclassical type guitar thing. So, if you dig it, cool, but it's not anything I did professionally or what I've, any of that. So, but let's start with, my first guitar influence was Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin. He was, when I first heard him, I was just a kid. I just thought, oh my God, he's the greatest guitar player in the world. So it started with Jimmy Page. When Van Halen came out, 1978, I was about 10 years old or so, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, keep in mind, in the late 70s, that type of guitar playing didn't seem real. It was like, I thought it was synthesized. I didn't know. I just couldn't comprehend, and I think that's where everyone was at when they first heard like Eruption. It was just like mind blowing. Rest in peace, Eddie. You are. If it wasn't for Eddie Van Halen, there wouldn't be the generation of guitar players in that sort of genre that exists today, or whatever. But then Randy Rhoads kind of came along a little after with Ozzy, and I was actually more into Randy Rhoads simply because he had more of a classical influence and style to him, and I had a classical upbringing with my mom being a concert pianist, so Randy Rhoads was insane. Steve Vai was another one because I have a degree in jazz harmony theory and all that stuff, and when Steve Vai was playing with Frank Zappa's band, and then he branched out and did a solo album called Flexible, and then from there joined David Lee Roth's band, and then Whitesnake and whatever. Just a phenomenal overall, just an amazing guitar player. I love him. Nice guy. I've hung out with him a few times and really cool. And of course, Jimi Hendrix, I mean, when I heard Jimi Hendrix when I was a kid, I was just like, again, it was one of those moments, without Jimi Hendrix, there wouldn't have been probably Eddie Van Halen or whatever. But anyway, those are those guys. As far as electric goes, as far as classical or acoustic, I'm really into Paco de Lucia, a flamenco guitar player. He's passed away, but the greatest ever. If you compare like Eddie Van Halen to rock and roll, Paco de Lucia, or say Jimi Hendrix, Paco de Lucia was the equal in that genre of music. Um, Strunz and Farah were a huge influence on me. I studied flamenco guitar at Randy Rhoads' mother's school, where Randy Rhoads used to teach, called Musonia in North Hollywood. And, you know, and I studied classical guitar too, but I'm not a true flamenco player. I don't ever claim to be. You know, I'm a flamenco fusion. I use a pick and I use my hands too. But anyway, um, and then John Williams, not to be, or I'm sorry, Vicente Amigo, who is sort of almost like a clone of Paco de Lucia, amazing flamenco player. And then on top of that, John Williams, classical guitar player, not to be confused with John Williams, the composer, who was just when he did what was called the Bach Lute Suites uh, back in the 80s. And I just, you know, I was blown away by his playing, you know what I mean? So having said that, you know, it was just a great night last night. You know, do I have any other questions? I'm sorry. Dennis asks me, does the stress level of owning a $20,000 to $40,000 watch offset the satisfaction of owning one himself, or over owning a $15,000 watch? I start to feel uneasy and unnecessarily stressed on those high dollar watches. That's not really a watch ball question, dude. You know, that's all relative to, I don't know. It's a really difficult question to answer. You know, for someone like me, if I'm wearing a $40,000 watch and I can afford it, uh, and I have insurance on it, then no, I wouldn't have a problem at all, and it wouldn't stress me out. You know, $10,000 to $40,000. What's the difference in a sense? You know, they're very, very expensive watches. You know, and if you feel uneasy or stressed about it, then don't wear it, don't buy it. You know what I mean? If it makes you feel uneasy, then don't do it. It's not worth feeling stressed out or uneasy owning a piece, you know, if you can't thoroughly 100% enjoy it. You know what I mean? So I would say that if you can comfortably afford it, and you can get insurance on it to cover no matter what happens to it, then enjoy it just like if it were a $15 watch. You know what I mean? Don't ever make anything make you feel uncomfortable or uneasy. I have no problem walking around wearing my sub. You know, my sub's what, $10,000 watch. You know what I mean? I have a Franck Mueller that's, you know, maybe twice that amount, the older one, but you know, I don't have a problem with wearing them, and it doesn't stress me out. You know what I mean? Last night there was armed police officers around this vicinity monitoring what was going on at the Our Watch event, and you know, it was really, and okay, so I have to walk out of to where my car was parked, you know, and walk around about a half a block around to the back of the building. I could have gone around. I literally could have gone out the back door, but I didn't. And I walked. I was by myself. I had my sub on. Didn't feel threatened. Didn't feel nervous. Didn't feel worried about it. If something were to happen, you know, I have insurance on the watch, but at the same time, you don't want anything to happen. Of course, you wouldn't want to be harmed. You wouldn't want any kind of violent confrontation with anyone just for a fucking watch, right? Unfortunately, that's the world we live in right now. Having said that, I thank you guys for your questions, and let's do this. Let's give the watch away. All right. So what happened last night was the winner of the Tissot PRX was one of my viewers by the name of Strider. He's in Australia. He was super stoked that he won, but what he decided that he wanted to do is, because he lived in Australia, he wanted me to give it away to somebody local. So I appreciate that, man. That's a true gentleman of you. That's just hands down so huge. So I appreciate that. I'll be sending you a sticker and a button. Yay, consolation prize, right? But no, I appreciate it, and we'll figure out. I'll get the address. I'll figure it out. Anyway, so that's the watch, and we're gonna put it in this Blancpain hot that I have. We got only 3 names. 2 people that were viewers that were there weren't interested in the PRX. I got Steel Steez with the pumpkin. I got David, and I've got Alex. So I'm gonna put them in the hat. I'm gonna fold it up Shake it up. Shake it up, baby. Shake it up. All right, dude. Steel Steez. Dude, you are the winner of the PRX. So hook me up, chat. I know you're down the street. David, you were down the street too, and I appreciate it, man. You guys were awesome. I'm so glad you came. And just hook me up, hit me up, and we'll get the watch to you. All right. Peace out.